Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. This AMA is just going to be me. ID is out this week. But it looks like the game is having some technical difficulties also right now. So I think the AMA today, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through some more Realms stuff, kind of share with you guys the open source side of things, and kind of share with you guys and kind of walk through live how to build out more Realms, what you can do with open source, and all of that. So we're going to go and do that together, but we're having a few difficulties with the games. The team is on top of that right now, and we're going to go through that. So this AMA will still be the same kind of format. We'll still go through questions. We'll answer, anything that you guys are thinking about right now. Maybe I'll give some updates on Chubkins as well. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just going to check in with the game and see how that's going, because I'm blocked by. Okay, we're doing some CDN stuff right now. So yes. Just like every AMA, I want you guys to share some questions. We'll go through some regular updates, and I'll kind of give you an overview on where everything is going with Pixels right now, the things that we're working on, all of that. So maybe I can start right now with the high level. So on the high level, what is Pixels building right now? What's the goal? Where are we at? How are things going? So over the last couple of years, we've been working on a lot of things here at Pixels, right? We've been trying to figure out how we can make play to earn work. And, I started crunching the numbers the other day. Over the last 2 years, literally just since the TGE, Pixels has done 72 updates to the game, which is pretty crazy, right? That is not a normal update cadence for any live game. And I'm pretty proud of the team for being able to, go and experiment so much. And as we've been here live, working on building out play to earn games in the ecosystem, we've found a lot of things that have worked. We've also found a lot of things that have not worked, right? So one of the things that we've been really trying to figure out is how we can make play to earn sustainable. And while it's still sustainable, how can we grow it, right? So over the last 2 years, when we first started, Pixels, at the TGE at the very beginning, we knew and we were very transparent with everybody that the current iteration of play to earn was not sustainable, right? We started developing this metric called ROARs. There's no energy party in the game. Okay, yeah. So guys, there isn't current issue with like the CDN right now. Basically, the assets inside of the game, the servers are up, but we are, if you're seeing this error, it's just because we're like making some CDN migrations right now. We're moving to Cloudflare, I guess. So give some patience. The team's going to get the game up and live so you guys can all log in. And once we can get that up and live, then I will also kind of be demoing some of the stuff around Realms. So let me double check on that. If I can log into the game, then I'll go and play some popcorn. Here, I'll share my screen. I'm still trying to get in as well. If you guys are seeing this issue, you are not alone. The team is working on that. It might take a few minutes. So, as soon as we get that up and going, we'll go and dive through the AMA stuff that I had planned, which was basically a Realms demo, the open source demo, and kind of teaching you guys how to go and do that. But honestly, maybe even what I can do right now is I can go through and start to show you guys how to start working on the open source version of the game. Because actually, I think if I download the open source repo, we might not even need this server going. So we're going to do this from scratch together. And I'll share screen along the way. So here, let me open up the Pixel Substack first. So right now, I'm going to go to the Pixels post. On this Pixels post website, we gave you guys a pretty good starting guide on how to start contributing to the open source repo. Last week, I think it was only last week, that's crazy, we introduced the Pixels Community Hub. And honestly, now that I'm going through this, we should probably introduce some of these guides in the Community Hub. The Community Hub is basically a place where everything Open Pixels can live. So if you go to community.pixels.xyz, it's live right now. And you actually see that some people are starting to share some of the things that they're working on the open source side as well. So Mixero was the first developer. Props to you, Mixero. We said that we would give a bounty for the first. We said that we would give a bounty for the first people who contribute to open source. So if Mixero's, actual commit gets included into the main game, Mixero, you're going to get a bounty. There's also a few other people working on open source stuff right now. They haven't submitted their stuff into the voting system yet, but it'll be very quick for them to do that. Actually, I see that they've already started working on it. Like for example, if I come to this chat and friend system, we have a developer in the ecosystem, KingCrest, who has already uploaded a merge request for some of the stuff as well. He just didn't go through the links that he needed to in order to get into the voting system. We'll work with them to make that happen. That'll be another thing you can vote on soon. I know there's a few other developers in the game and ecosystem that are already working on some stuff. And I see that there's already people that are working on bounties as well. So I'll give a quick recap on this community system. First things first, the community system, the community hub, is a way for all of you guys to share the work that you've been working on inside the Pixels ecosystem and for you guys to discover it as well. So if you come into here now, you'll already see some of the popular stuff that you guys have already been using, like voxels, pixel lore, nerd. They're all in here now, which is great. And we're even seeing some more stuff like PX Companion. This is very, very cool, right? Now, the other cool part about this is we have this whole new system of requests. And I see a lot of you have found it already. This request system is, even if you're not technical, you can contribute to the Pixels ecosystem by literally just giving us ideas, right? And a bunch of you have already done that, and a bunch of people have already voted, right? So if you come into this page on the Pixels Community Hub called Request, you'll see right here that there's people who are not technical that have really good ideas for the game, and they've submitted ideas. Like, for example, the top voted idea right now is this idea for industry search, industry timer trackers, and better UI for mobile, right? Kieran gave an in-game spec saying, hey, there's not enough information available for the player base, and right now people have to rely on extensions. If we could move more of this stuff into the UX and add 2 new HUD elements for industry searching and industry trackers, that'd be awesome. And you can already see people have been commenting on this, giving out more ideas. And what we've done here is we've put an official Pixel bounty onto this. So now what that means is multiple people can start to actually go and build this. And if they complete this and it actually gets made into the main game, they will get that 100,000 Pixel bounty, which is a pretty cool system. And if you go back to the request page, you'll see that the Pixels team has already been putting on a bunch of bounties here. So, we've seen all of your ideas: more pet utility, land rental option, Pixel recipe book, searchable bookmarks. I think these are all great ideas. And what we've done is we've said, okay, if there's an open source developer who comes in and actually builds these out, you get these bounties. And this is a way for one, the community to start contributing ideas. Two, some of the ecosystem funds in the Pixel ecosystem, they primarily have been reserved for rewards. This is also a really great use of that ecosystem allocation if you look at the Pixel tokenomics, right? And honestly, this might be even like the best long-term use of a majority of those funds if we can really get things going, right? So come onto this site, continue to vote, continue to update here, and we'll continue to add bounties. The next thing that we're adding onto this page too is, the Pixels team will add bounties, but also we're going to make it so that anyone can add a bounty to this too. So if you see something here that you're like, yes, this absolutely needs to be put into the game, you'll also be able to put up Pixel yourself. But again, the Pixel ecosystem has allocation in the tokenomics specifically set aside for ecosystem, and this is a perfect use case for it. So we'll continue to add bounties here. So here, let me just double check on the game, see if things are up right now. Looks like we're still waiting. So I see that some of you guys are still having like no energy. Some of you guys are still having a hard time getting in. I am as well. Let me see if I can try in a different browser right now. Sometimes that might work here. But if not, then what I will do today is I'll go through setting up my own personal open source repo, and we're going to learn this a little bit together. So here, let me try to go to play.pixels.xyz in a different browser just to see if that helps. Nope, looks like we're still having the same CDN issue. So we will get this up as soon as we can. But again, continue to ask questions and we'll go through this. So here, I'm going to go back to the Pixels Community Hub, and what we'll do today, as we're waiting for the game to go back up, is we will try to see if we can install the open source repo together today. So we released 2 different ways to go and build on the Pixels ecosystem. The first way is through this feature called Realms, which is available through Reforge. So Reforge is this crazy UI, right? You go to it and it's a little intimidating at first. I showed you guys it this last week, right? So Reforge is basically a way that you can launch your own version of Pixels without having to worry about anything technical for the setup. We basically give you a one-click way to go and produce your own standalone version of Pixels that you can share with other people. One thing that I don't think people realize is you can actually even maybe this realm is working for me right now. Okay, interesting. No, we're still the same issue. Okay, so we'll keep waiting. But basically, we released this Reforge tooling set, right? It's this tooling set where you can create your own maps, you can create your own tiles, you can do all this crazy stuff here, and basically make your own version of Pixels without like any code. There's also another way that we introduced to contribute to the open source ecosystem where you can actually download the entire Pixels code base, like literally everything in the Pixels code base, which is very, very unique. We're actually one of the first Web3 games to fully open source server and client, which is a big difference to just open sourcing the client. What this means is you can actually create your own version of Pixels that's completely separate from the main game, and you can have like full creative license on any change you might want to make to the game, right? So again, we have this post on the Pixels post on how to start. So here we'll go. Here we go. We're going to start to try to do this. We're not going to do realms right now because that's still kind of related to the main game. But what we're going to do is we are going to try to set up the open source repo from scratch. So we made a really, really easy way to install the open source repo. It used to be much harder. You would have to go into GitLab. What you had to do is you would have to go and clone all of these repos. It's kind of technical, but instead of doing that, we made one command to do it right here. So actually, let me see if I can share the whole screen so you can see what's going on. I'm gonna have to change the screen permissions. 1 second. This is scary. I'm going to share the whole screen. Okay, let's see if this works. Can you guys see Reforge? I think so. Okay, so what I've done here now, or not Reforge, but this whole screen. So what I've done here now is I've opened up 2 terminals, right? If you don't know how to open up a terminal, you'll have to figure that one out, but it's not too hard. I'm going to run this command in my terminal now. Maybe after I make a new a new area here. Make dir AMA demo cd-/AMA demo. Okay, we're going to try this. I'm going to run this command now. It's installing a bunch of the stuff that I would need in order to actually get this up and running. Okay, it looks like I need to install a couple other things. So here I'm going to run this command. I don't have NVM installed. Dang. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to install NVM. How to install NVM. Sometimes it's that easy. Oh, or you can use Homebrew. So if you are new to development, you got to be careful sometimes with the stuff you download. I would generally trust something here, but always be careful. There's things that are called package managers like Brew, which are normally a little bit safer. I'm pretty sure I have Homebrew installed on this computer. Yep, I do. So I can go and install NVM this way. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time. There we go. Okay, I'm going to try to run that first command one more time. That's the whole Pixels one. There we go. Oh, now I have to run nvm install 22. nvm install 22. We still don't have nvm installed. Oh, I have to do this. Okay. This lets me have the nvm command directly available in here. Here, I'm going to try this again one more time. nvm install 22. Okay, still not seeing it. Oh, I didn't do the whole command maybe. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I'm getting the specific version of Node that we needed. Should be good. Sometimes installing Node.js can take some time, but that looks like it was pretty quick. All right, I'm going to try to run that command again. Here we go. Okay, now I got to start Docker. Okay, I think I have Docker on here already. So I'm going to open up Docker. Docker is basically something that makes it a lot easier for you to run stuff on a computer. If you don't know what Docker is, this is like the right way to build stuff. It's like a very, very safe way. Basically what Docker does, it's free. It allows you to create like this mini computer on your computer. That's the best way to describe it. So basically, it's actually much, much safer for you to download open source stuff in Docker, because Docker images or things on Docker can't touch your normal computer. And it makes it very, very easy for other things to run, basically. So if you're ever installing something open source, I'd encourage you to just like look really quickly into Docker. But we have it set up this way. So now that I have Docker running, let's see if it's going to work. Yes. Okay, here we go. Where should pixels be installed? That's not a bad place. Should it include Reforge? Yes. Yes, let's do the magic link. And now it's cloning all of those repos here for me, right? And it's doing all of the setup for me. It's setting up the database. It's getting the build ready. This makes it so much easier to get open source ready. And here, I'll check, I will check some of the AMA comments while we're here. I'll go back into StreamYard. Hopefully this doesn't break stuff if I'm in another tab. Okay, yeah, wait, let's check the AMA comments while we're here. Whew. Okay, the game is working for you guys now. That's great. Okay, now we're already into this open source stuff. So we're gonna do this one first to see if it is working and right. But I will go through some of these questions in a minute too. I'll start starring stuff. This is the view I get when I live stream, guys. I get to see all of your questions. I get to star them and go through them later. Let's check on the open source stuff. All right, I'm gonna check my email really quickly. It sent me an email. I'll remove the screen really quickly while I do that. All right, I'm logged in. I'll bring it back up. See the proof failed. Oh, okay, this is still related to the other thing, I think. So it looks like we got everything running, but it looks like this still might be related to the CDN. Let's see, can I get it? Here, I'll stop sharing screen one more time. Okay, so yeah, this is the same issue, guys, as as the open source stuff. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to be able to show the open source end-to-end until the CDN stuff is fixed. But it sounds like the game stuff is fixed, right? Is it? Are you guys able to get into the game right now or no? Okay, the game looks live. That's better. That might mean that we can go into Reforge right now, which is great. So maybe I can show you guys some Reforge stuff then. But yeah, this is the process, everything that I just did there to get the open source stuff ready. Right now, we're still getting through some CDN issues. So dang, I wish I could show that, but I can't until we get that fixed. So yeah, maybe I'll be able to go through and do like a separate AMA this week even to go through how you would, like once the open source code is there, fully set it up. But actually, it probably runs now. What I could look right now is to see if it would still go up. So let me just go into that and see really quickly. Yeah, let's just see what we can do here. I'll show you guys my process for building really quickly. I'll share the screen again. Now here's where I would start to use Claude. When I use Claude, I like to use Claude and I like to dangerously skip permissions. That's not normally. Do it at your own risk. So I'll type in Claude, dangerously skip permissions. And now I have a Claude Code instance here. So when you have Claude Code, guys, this is why open source development is so much more interesting than it used to be. Because now what I can do is I can start asking questions about the code. So I have this Claude here. All I had to do is install Claude Code. You can also use Codex. Sometimes I even like to use both of them at the same time, right? So I'll go here. I'll go into the Pixels Online folder. And I'll type in Codex. Codex's version is called the YOLO in order to use things properly, but I can talk to either of them. So now that I'm in this repo, I can say, hey, Claude, how do I start this? What do I need? It'll think. I think I'm on the highest. Let me, here, I'll change the model because I don't think I need to be on Fable with max effort. Here, I'll go to Opus really quickly. I'll switch to Opus. I'll switch the model to something smaller, medium effort. Okay, Claude, how do I start Pixels and get it running? It'll think about this for a little bit. It'll start to dig into these things. And as it's doing that, maybe I can even start to go through some questions. Yeah, this would be the command that you run, npm install -g codex or npm install -g Claude Code. If you go to Claude, you can even ask, how do I install Claude Code? And it'll teach you how to do that, right? Okay, cool. Claude Code is saying everything's installed and seeded. It's just doing some checks. It's looking through all of the stuff. Yeah, right now it's running into that same issue where the database is empty because I think it's the CDN issue. But we'll see what it says. Maybe it'll figure a way out, right? And this is the amazing part about Claude Code. It can actually diagnose all the issues and debug stuff for you. And that's what makes the open source thing so much more interesting than it was before. Because if you weren't technical, you would never be able to contribute to Open Pixels. But now with Claude Code, it's pretty dang close. It'll fix all the issues for you. And it's good enough now, guys. It really is. Let's see if I can go into Reforge now and see if I can actually start a Reforge game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new Reforge thing. You guys don't get the option to set up multiple repos. I do. That's the fun thing about being a dev. I'm going to create a new Reforge. So this is what your Reforge is going to look like if you go to reforge.pixels.xyz when you start it fresh. You're going to go to deploy a game. You're going to go to deploy a realm. You're going to call it AMA demo or whatever. AMA demo. We're going to pick stable server, stable client. And yes, the open source DB is available now. It wasn't before. So I can actually deploy this new realm and get that going also while we're doing this as well. So again, Realms is a different option on how to do all this stuff. It's a different way to build on Pixels. It's a little bit less technical. It's way, way easier for you to share the stuff that you're working on in Realms with other people. If you're building Realms, or if you're building on the open source side yourself, what you would have to do is you'd have to deploy a server yourself for people to actually be able to check out the work that you're doing. With Realms, we handle all that for you. This is actually like some pretty crazy technical stuff that we did here in order to do that. But basically, it's a way that you can get something shared with other people much quicker. Or if you wanted to go and like get the full open source experience, you would go and do stuff here. Okay, so it looks like we can go through some questions right now. It's working now. The game is up. Amazing. Okay, started questions. We're going to start going through these. Okay, please help me out. To use a project in Reforge, do I need to create a sprite sheet? We'll go through that later. Sometimes, yes, if you want to do new things. Now, here's how I would always recommend if you're curious and messing around with code on how to do it. I kind of gave some of my process last week, but the best and easiest way to start with modding is don't make stuff from scratch. You want to change things that are already there a little bit. So what I would recommend in that case is I would download a current sprite sheet inside of Reforge. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is right click and save most likely. And then you can edit the pixels yourself if you really want. Open it up in Photoshop or AE Sprite and like make small changes, like change the colors at first, or add something on top. Make Realms easier, like the way that we enter the old farm. So the cool thing about Realms, and the reason why we added like a login in front of Realms instead of instantly going in, is you have like your own unique inventory inside of each realm. The reason why this is interesting is if you were to basically create like a game from scratch, like say that you want to make your own Neon Zone game that had its own inventories and all of this, then that gives you the chance to actually give people like infinite items, things that wouldn't be okay in the main game. So that's why Realms is interesting. Now, if you're developing a realm and you're like, this is awesome, I want to include this into the main game, that's the same kind of stuff that we can vote on as well too. So what we want you guys to do, this would be the best open source scenario, is basically if you were to go through and start building in a realm and you have like a really cool working mini game or just a small new feature or new quest, it's very easy for our team to move something from a realm into the main game. Like say that you want to make a story inside of Pixels and you want to make a new quest inside of Pixels, right? All you would have to do is you'd have to make it in your realm on top of what we have. And then what we could do is we could take that and just move it into the main game really easily. That's the cool thing about realms. So if you do that, then it's going to be as easy to get into the main game or as easy to enter as other stuff. If you want to make a new map, a new area, like that's all the stuff that you're going to be able to do. And in fact, I think that's a lot of the way that the community will contribute with the Realms feature as well. They'll make new areas to explore, new maps and new quests. It's pretty simple to do that, especially if you're using like an AI agent. And that's the fun thing. Somebody said 72 updates, but is the direction good for gameplay? So this was in reference to something I was talking about earlier in the AMA on where is Pixels going, what are we up to now, and what are the things that we're working on. Oh, it looks like my client is going. So I'll talk. Looks like my client is up. I'll talk about that as I'm kind of just doing this. Okay, so one of the issues that we were running into before was that I couldn't get the database in. I should be able to get that now in my local version of Reforge. So Reforge, there's two versions of it. There is one that is available when you go to reforge.pixels.xyz. And then also when you start to install the full open source ecosystem, there will be a local version also. If you look right here, you can see I'm running this locally. This is on my computer. This is just for me. It's a version of Pixels that is just available to me on my own computer. And there's three things here. There's the client, there's the server, and there's Reforge, right? So I have this version of Reforge on my computer now, and I'll be able to go and do some of the open source stuff. So let me just go check my email really quickly. I'll log into Reforge on my own device. Here, I'll come back. I'll share the screen again. And yeah, that link in my email took me here. So I'm going to make a new organization, OSS demo AMA. Perfect. So now I'm in here. Here, I'll make a new environment. Or actually, now that I'm here, maybe even I can ask Claude to do this. Okay, I logged into Reforge on my local machine. Do you think you can help me get the rest of it set up? Let me check the current state. You may have already made progress. Amazing. And at the same time, let me go and check on my realm that I was trying to work on. So amazing. The realm looks like it's set up now. It's still working on the open source one here. I'll click on play on this new realm that I just created. That's live for everybody. I have to log in. I have to make a new account. Luke. And I'm into this realm. Amazing. So this is the realm that everyone can enter. So actually, if you were to go to this link, and I'll share it just in this AMA screen really quickly. To share. This is a link that everyone can go to now. And that's how easy it is to start to share a realm with other people if you're doing it through the reforge.pixels.xyz link, right? So now, if you guys remember, what we had to do first was we had to go in and give ourselves God mode. So I should be in here now. I'm going to log out of my realm really quickly. This one. I'm going to log out of the realm really quickly just so I can give myself God mode. Here, I'll just refresh and it'll technically log me out. I'll give myself God mode. What I have to do is I'll have to go over here, go to privileges, and I'll click on the player. I'll go to privileges, and I'll give myself all, and now I'm God mode. So one thing that we fixed from the last time that we demoed realms is the tutorials were kind of broken. Now we had a way that you can skip the tutorial. So if I wanted to skip the tutorial, I would just go through here and I can skip it. One thing I want to do first, though, is I want to show you how powerful this is. I don't really like how this tutorial looks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change it. You got to be a little careful when you're editing tutorials because you don't want to break stuff. So I still just want to kind of change how this tutorial area looks. So you can tell when you first come into my realm that this isn't pixels. I would probably add like a bunch of fences, make sure that people know that they have to go right here. I don't even really want you going into Barney's place. We're going to do this really quickly. So now when you come to my realm, hopefully it'll be more obvious. I just want you to go straight through that door. And look at Claude. Claude is working already. Okay, so what did Claude say about my open source stuff? Sometimes Claude will tell you to do a bunch of stuff. I might just ask Claude, can you just do it? Sometimes Claude will actually just do it. They'll literally open up your browser, or maybe they'll try to do the API, and we'll get going. But yeah, now I have this like new tutorial area. Maybe even Sometimes you have some cool objects that show like arrows and stuff like that. Maybe I would try to put an arrow here. Yeah, yeah. All right, you're just gonna go down. If you see that SP, that's the spawn point object. So I know that people, when they first come in the tutorial, will go right here. Oh, you know what happened here? I think I still might have to complete the tutorial on this one. We have a skip button, but it might not be included in this database anymore. It was supposed to be, but it might have gotten missed. Darn. Okay, we have to talk to the dev team about that and get that fixed again. Looks like the tutorial skips might be broken. Or maybe it's because I'm in God mode, I messed it up. That actually also might be a case. Let me see if I can log in with another account now or another wallet. I'm going to change the wallet really quickly. This one won't be God mode, so this will be how they see the tutorial. Okay, unfortunately, we don't have the tutorial skip in this version of the Realm database that everybody's downloading right now. The dev team will fix that immediately after. It was supposed to make it much easier to skip the tutorial. Here's what I'll have to do in the short term. What I will do in my Realm on the live one is I'm just going to go to quest. I'm going to select the quest for Luke. And I'm going to mark their quest complete. Basics with Barney, I'm going to mark that complete. Okay, I'll do the same thing for Hontex. And hopefully we can move on. I'll refresh. I'll log in with that first wallet. Oh no. Maybe I can go straight to the right map. Okay, looks like we're still running into live realms issues. We'll work through that later. Now, what the heck is Claude doing here? Oh, okay. It looks like we're still. I'll have to work on the team with this. There's still a few issues with the Reforge stuff. You know, we're gonna do this live. Hopefully, you don't see anything crazy. Orange. That's a bug. So some of the stuff that we were working through with Realms before you guys came here was what we were trying to do is we were trying to make it so that you could skip the tutorials. We did that. There must be like an old version of the database that's still getting sent to most people. That's something the team's got to fix like today. We have the fix, it just didn't get sent, I guess. Here, I'll still go into this Reforge thing. Looks like a lot of you started coming in, which is really cool, but we don't have the tutorial skip right now, which is super, super annoying. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'm going to see, I came into Luke 2. I'll go back into that one. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to complete the quest for Luke 2. Basics with Barney, I'll complete that one. I'll see if I can log in there. I'll sign that. And hopefully I can get through the tutorial. Okay, we got Luke 2. We don't have that tutorial skip here. We have the wrong database. We have the old one, not the new one that we updated. But that's all right. Okay, perfect. So it looks like what's really cool about Claude Code is Claude Code saw all that. It saw that exact database issue, right? Where in the realm I couldn't get through the tutorial, but it fixed it in my local version. So this is the local version. This is a version of Pixels that I have that is just on my computer, which is kind of the stuff I want to show you guys anyways. Luke. Okay, pretty cool. Now I'm in my own version of Pixels. This one doesn't have the tutorial skip either, unfortunately. It looks like there's an asset that's missing right now too, the footsteps, which is funny. It looks like we're missing a bunch of CDN stuff also. It looks like, can you skip the tutorial for my new player? And it looks like the CDN here also. We're gonna switch to fast if I can. Yeah, baby. Okay, can you skip the tutorial for my new player, Luke? Can you also maybe investigate some missing assets? Now, the cool thing about Claude is I can actually run stuff in parallel. So I'll have Claude fix this. But now that we actually have the open source running, we can actually start to modify the code. And here's, maybe we'll talk. If I was to do, a like feature inside of the game, what should I do? I think I keep seeing you guys like building out zombies inside of the game. Maybe what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to, if I wanted to add zombies in Terra Villa to Pixels, how would I do that? So what we'll do is we'll talk to, this one's Codex, not Claude, and see if they can come up with a plan there. Yeah, I think I want you to make a new system. How would you do that? And can you try to use existing art? I don't have time to make art now. But if you did want to make art for Pixels, we've actually introduced one of our developers, actually pretty cool tool to make new pixel art that's generated. If you didn't have time, you just want to make something quick, it'll actually help you generate the entire sprite sheets in a way that Pixels can use. It'll help you make new tile sets that you can use. It's actually really, really powerful. I would encourage you guys to check this one out. It's something that our developer made in their free time. I think I have to sign with Google to get it. I think it sent me a notification on my iPhone. Let me try again. And maybe my Wi-Fi is down. All right, we'll go through this one later. Anytime you demo, it does stuff like that, right? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Ooh, okay. So Codex has a plan on how to make this zombie thing. Here, I'm gonna ask them. So, okay, let's just do evading. Evading first, but second, Codex just basically gave me a plan on how to make zombies in pixels. It asked me if I wanted to have a feature where players can fight and stun zombies, or it should be a survival event. Let's start with just evading, but I want you to build it in a way where we could fight them later. Here, what's really great also is you can stop Claude halfway through it when it's doing something and give some feedback. So Mnemonic I saw when he posted was the easiest tutorial skip is to tell Claude to enable TV teleport even without the tutorial. I heard I can just skip the tutorial by enable TV teleport and maybe even putting that in the tutorial map, but don't need that for now. Now we wait, and this is what coding is like for a lot of people now. It's kind of crazy. Used to have to open up Visual Studio Code, like for here's my Visual Studio Code. Ooh, baby, don't just ignore the mess there, guys. Just ignore the mess. Here, I'm gonna open up the code just so you guys can see it. And I'm committed to getting something live on this demo, guys. So we'll go a little bit later if you guys are interested in sticking around. Okay, so this is the open source code base. Like, if you want to write the code by hand, you totally still can. It's always good to kind of check things out too and like double check, right? So, this is the code base. If you wanted to go and edit it, this is what you have to do. You have to go and find the files, go into the game, figure things out. Claude Code or Codex, it'll just kind of go through all of that too. You might want to do like some final reviews of the code sometimes. Like that's what our team will handle if you try to go into the Pixels community side and put things in for vote. What we get to see is we get to see all of the merge requests here. So if I go here, if I go to the client, I think I should be able to see different merge requests here. Yes, so this is a merchant, or this is an open source branch. There should be merge request over here. Maybe there's even commits that we can see. But yeah, basically what we'll see, yeah, here we go. This is the bookmarks code request. So when we go and review the code, we'll see all the changes that were made to the code, and we'll get to be able to see like how the code is. Our team is going to be hand checking this. This is why we have to like only cap so many things at once. But yeah, here we go. Claude Code is still figuring these things out. Codex is going through and helping to edit some stuff on that zombie feature. We'll see how long it takes the Codex thing. Oh, it looks like it got a lot of his stuff already. That's pretty crazy. It's making some changes. What else is going on here? Yeah, but a lot of these issues right now are due to an issue that we already solved, but it just didn't get populated. I think it might have something to do with this error that you guys saw in the main game today. We'll make sure this is fixed. We'll make sure that you can get through the tutorials much easier. So there's a little bit less troubleshooting at the very beginning. But again, Claude Code can really help you get through a lot of this stuff. Oh, amazing. So it looks like Claude or Codex. Codex was a little bit quicker on this one. Maybe made one of the zombie features. Let's see if it can get us in. Part of the issue is I'm working on 2 different things at once. And let's see if I can get past the tutorial now. I might have to actually finish this tutorial. I don't want to, but I might have to. Looks like all these assets are back in, which is great. Okay. It looks like I did finish the tutorial now. So here, I'm going to try to just directly go to Terravilla for right now. I typed in the wrong link. I think that's how you get there. You go to this link, pixels/Terravilla. Here we go. Oh, but Claude Code, refresh my stuff because I have a Claude Code instance going. Oh, and the footsteps are fixed. Okay, I wonder where it put the zombies. I don't see anything yet. Did it do them? I'm going to ask. Okay. I am in the map Terravilla right now. I don't see any zombies. It's going to go through and fix some of that stuff. They'll do a double check. And while that's going, we'll answer some more questions. What a copycat. Oh, what about Chubkins? So Chubkins, we directed a lot more of the team energy and resources towards Chubkins. If you guys have been following along, there's huge major updates to how it looks, and the game's performing a lot better. Our goal is to like almost fully finish Chubkins in hopefully a month or 2. So Chubkins, it's already kind of complete where we have all of the game features finished now, right? So Chubkins, I would put its like real completion at about like 90%. So all of the major systems of the game are finished. We're going to add one more set of features that are like big feature updates, which are a subscription feature, right? But then the next set of changes after that are all going to be polishing. So that means like basically there's a few things in the game that like they're there, they work, they don't really make sense. Like for example, if you play Chubkins right now, there's like a whole bunch of ways to get new types of Chubkins. You have to get things like skin tokens, and there's dust, and there's just like a bunch of very confusing systems. If you go and look through the reviews, here I'll even show you Chubkins.app. There's a lot of people that play Chubkins now. I think Chubkins has over 50,000 downloads. That's legit. That's real. And we're starting to get some good feedback. A lot of people like it. We're starting to fix a lot more of the issues. If we go through the reviews, we'll also see some things where there were like some old issues when it was broken. This is why it was in early access. Some people think it's a little too slow to take care of things. Again, there were some, dev issues that we were going through at one point. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that we're working on right now is to basically address all of these issues. Like for example, performance was a really big issue at one point. If you had like an older phone, it made the phone hot. We're starting to fix a lot of that stuff. The Wordle stuff was confusing. We're fixing notifications. There's some quirks. Like this is a really funny review. I do not like that when you tickle your pet, one of the replies is, "I love the way you touch me." Or something like that. There's like a bunch of quirks that we needed to fix inside of Chubkins before we wanted to go with the full release, right? This is exactly why we did early access instead of fully releasing the game, because we want to make sure with a small group of players, we fix all of these issues first before we do the full release. So this is a completely different approach to what we've done with Pixels before, where Pixels, the idea was, build it live, continue to update it, all of that. There's a different approach that we want to do with mobile, right? Because what we want to do with Chubkins is we want to build a paid UA funnel, which basically means we want to be able to run ads and have them like actually be profitable. So in order for that to happen, there's like a certain level of quality that we want to hit before we start to release it to more people. We open up all the other features. The features that we're working on in Chupkin's next, subscriptions. We're adding in a lot more features that make it more fun to play with other people. Right now, Chupkins is supposed to be multiplayer, but a very small percentage of the users actually play with another user. So that's one thing that we're fixing now. The other thing that we're working on is also just making everything make more sense and going through a bunch of this feedback. I think we have about a month of work still before we get through all of these things. We're making so much more progress, so much more quickly now. But that's the stuff that we're kind of fixing. Okay, let's check in. Oh, sweet. It said zombies are here now. I might need to re-enter the map, it said also. I go in the sauna and go east to west. I don't see them. Are they here? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the local Reforge. We have that here. What maps do I have? Okay, I'm gonna go into the general store and then come out. And then maybe we'll see it work then. All right, we'll go back. We'll see. Those sparkles are new. No, still, I'm not seeing any zombies, guys. All right, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna figure this out. Okay, it's gonna refresh the server. Yeah, that makes sense. It probably needed to refresh the server. It's doing that. Cool. It's getting a new server. This is the same way that we update this, guys. Sometimes you'll see that we have to restart the servers, right? Whenever we do a normal update. Codex learned that we need to do that too. Let's see. Maybe I'm going a little too early. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. Oh, shoot. That's crazy. That's so funny. It actually used like all the characters and stuff like that. And then what's interesting about these ones is I think these are actually they're moving a little slow because they're built on the server side. So this, if we made this live for everybody else, I'm pretty sure everybody else would see these same zombies. Here, I'm gonna give some feedback. I wonder what happens if they touch me. Nothing. Oh no, maybe I'm losing health. Okay. The zombies show up now. They don't hurt me. And they are all following the same path. They're not spread out when they follow me. And it feels too easy right now. That's pretty crazy. The fact that like Quad Code or Codex literally knew how to make an NPC. It made an NPC follow me. One thing that we actually have never had in the game is NPCs that can move like this. Like our engine, we never took advantage of that, right? But Claude Code kind of figured out how to do it and has a zombie following me around, right? Good catch. The first slice gave all of their zombies the same player target. And contact only posts a warning. I also never got the warning, so we might want to double check the contact part. I think this is cool. Okay. AMA is Ask Me Anything. Luke needs to answer questions. He is the founder. What question do you have, man? Okay. When can we see a merchant ship big update? Also, do you have anything planned for merchant ships? Because the update was not good. Okay, well, it's always helpful to be specific when you have like feedback like this. So I think when it comes to content updates, we're still doing content updates at Pixels. I think merchant ships is one of the ones that we're thinking about, right? The big issue with merchant ships is what kind of content do you add into the game that makes merchant ships worth it. That's always been the hard part about Pixels. Now, part of the issue is, because the game loop is, pretty simple in farming, there's only so much chase content that we've been able to add. And one of the issues that we always were running into is anytime that you add in new types of chase content, how do you make it so the other rewards that were earned before still feel like they were worth it and you're not like devaluing the other rewards? Well, the real solution is you got to build out more mechanics inside the game, right? You got to add new game loops and you have to figure out other things that actually make the game more fun as well. So that's some of the stuff that we're trying to work through with the open source. Like, how can we actually add in really new and interesting features into the game? Even just us open sourcing the game and like creating this format allows for a lot of this. What we've now allowed is we've allowed for parallel versions of Pixels to work together. And somebody asked a really related question: when will rare items in Pixels be able to become NFTs? I think this is one of the things that we're going to be missing that actually makes this all work together. So if we have rare items becoming NFTs, this solves one of the problems with like different versions of the game. Now that we have different versions of the game that are able to be put up in place at the same time, the one thing that's missing is if you have to create a new account and log into all these different versions of the game, is how do you transfer progress between each game, right? Well, the one way to do that is if you have pixel tokens, obviously the pixel tokens you earn, if you have them on chain, like they could be used in multiple versions of the game. The other way to fix this would be to have more in-game items be NFTs, or if you earn an in-game NFT inside of the normal pixels, it would be able to be used in these other games and maybe even spent in these other games. So that's the stuff that we're kind of thinking about. The other thing that we have available now also with open source is we can move community-made features or even experimental features that we build out in a fork. Like maybe I would release this zombies game as a standalone, right? And maybe it's not something I would want to put into the main game at first, but if enough people play the zombies game, it could be one of those things that makes sense. Oh, I wasn't even sharing screen the last minute. That's so sad. I don't know if you guys even saw the zombies I was doing. Should have been checking that better. Okay, so here's my new zombie game. Oh, shoot. I keep spawning right where they're at. Oh, no. Okay. So we have zombies in pixels in my open source version of the game right now. I don't know if you guys saw this before. I'm not sure if I was completely sharing screen, but this is made on the server side. Jeez, I have to avoid them. There's like a whole horde. That's kind of funny. And yeah, I made this with Claude Code in like 20 minutes, right? So what I could do now is I could figure out a way to host this game server by itself, and this would be a standalone version of Pixels that has zombies in Terravilla now, right? And the cool thing is, what I could do is I could even update this map and make it look not like Terravilla when people come in. I wonder. Do you think you would be able to design and decorate new Terravilla map that looked more like a zombie wasteland? I don't know if it would be good at this. This is an experiment. I don't know if it'd be able to do this. That's a good idea. Yeah. Can you try that? It'd be more fun to build your own map. But yeah, that's something we could definitely try. Here's how I would do that. I would create a new map first in Reforge. I can do this in my local version of Reforge. Terra Zombie Villa. I'd start with the blank one. Yeah, that probably works. Here, what I'll do now also is in my local Reforge, I will also give myself God mode. So when it's going and doing that stuff, I can go and edit the map here. While it's doing that, 3000 slash pixels slash, I have to go and look at the room name I just made. So I made a map. This map name is the one that I made. Oh, did it save? Maybe it didn't save. Oh, I didn't make it public. Okay, I might need to edit this one, or I'll just make a new one. Zombies. Okay, we're gonna make this one public. And we're gonna give it the template blank. Okay, zombies. So I'm gonna go to zombies right now while Claw's doing its thing. This is a new map that I'm just gonna build out really quickly. I'm still in this other one. Here, let me see if I can get there. I might need to, oh, one thing I didn't do is I have to allow for warp here by URL. So I'll do that. And I think I might just be able to go to this now. So I'll go to the zombies link really quickly. If you want to go to a room, here's how you do it. You have to go to the URL. You have to type in /pixels, and then you type in the room name, and it'll let you go there. Here we go. Okay, I need to make floors. I might need to refresh now really quickly. Okay, I'm going to make floors. Cool. Let's add objects. Or let's even just check in. So Claude said, I don't know if Claude or anything like this is actually going to be able to do this. If it does, I'll be very impressed. I got the link wrong. Okay, I mean, yeah, it did it. Look, that's kind of cool. It made a Terra Villa map that's like a bit more zombified. Didn't do that much, but it added some stuff. It added a lot more zombies too. I like that it named all the zombies Ed. That's funny. Okay, that looks good, but make it seem way more run down. Make way more zombie changes to the map. You can way more if you want. And I'll check on questions as it's doing that. Looks like Terra Villa in 2024. Chuck's zombie game looked better. I mean, we did have NPCs that can move. You're right, we did have NPCs that can move. But that was a crazy different type of NPC. All right, let's see. Did it do it? Do even more. Change even more. I didn't even see it yet, but I can tell it needs to do more. It only changed 36 things. Very cool, very cool. Okay. At the same time, I can even do two things at once a lot of the times. Okay, so I am building a zombie mode. We added zombies that follow me. Can we add the ability to attack zombies? Oh, geez. Too many changes. I wouldn't use the AI to try to edit the map. It's probably better by hand. It's a good proof of concept for right now. What do I do? What do I do? But the difference between this version of like Pixels, this being its own client, is if I was to spin this up and everybody came into this server, everyone would be seeing these zombies. Sometimes I've seen when we just released the open source client, people make things that were just on the client. If you use Claude Code like this and you were to spin up your own server, what would happen is everybody in the game would see these zombies, which is different and pretty crazy, right? So it'd be like a whole mini game that everybody has access to and people could play at once. Like I actually think if I open up Terravilla in another browser, let me see here. I'm gonna try to get it going with two people at once just to show you guys this. I have to open up a private window. Let's see if I can log in on a private window. I'm gonna open up my email really quickly. Let me stop sharing just for a second. All right, all right. Let me share. Let's see if the tutorial fixes worked. I think I have to go through the tutorial first. Can I skip it? Yes. Okay, the skip worked this time. That's great. Here, I'm gonna go to that map. What was it? Terravilla Zombie. And I'm gonna go to it in this one too. This will be crazy. I gotta, darn. We had it, we had it. Okay. Can you have my, we're gonna go to the Reforge one more time. And again, this is gonna be so much easier when we fix that tutorial bug. Sorry for that, guys. I'm gonna complete the quest for that user. We had supposedly fixed that last week. Hopefully it's gonna be fixed as soon as we can today, so that you guys won't be going through that same tutorial issue where you can't like play the game properly. But here we go. Okay, you take a look. We got two players in here. We're both missing the zombies now. Where'd they go? And this might have something to do with the other thing going at once. But yeah, we have a multiplayer version of Terravilla here. Let's really see if we can get these zombies going. I think we're going to get it. And as we're doing that, I'll just go through questions again. Oh, you guys have been stuck on this screen. Okay, sorry guys. You know, I'm not a live streamer. I'm not gonna. Okay, so we have 2 players in Terravilla right now. I have a lot of stuff running on my computer, so I might be running a little slow. But we're adding new zombies. I told it, hey, oh, okay, yeah. So now it's fixing the multiplayer part of the zombies. That's actually kind of a hard thing to do. You can see it's editing a lot of code in the server. This would only be possible if it was doing this on the server. At the same time, I'm having another instance of Claude Code, seeing if it can add in like fighting the zombies. But we're not leaving this AMA until we get a multiplayer version of zombies going. Let's see where these agents are at. Okay, so it looks like it fixed that issue with multiplayer zombies. I'm going to get in first here. Oh, geez. Okay, I'm going to try to run away. I'm going to try to play on 2 computers at once. This won't be easy, guys, but we're going to do it. It's loading. Okay, now they're all going after this guy. You can see that we're in here together. It's multiplayer. Very cool. Okay, that guy's screwed. I gotta get away from these ones. But yeah, we have multiplayer zombies working on a version of Pixels now. That's funny. Sometimes when you have 2 agents running at once, the agents fight at each other. It just says somebody edited it concurrently. It looks like it's nearly done with the attacking. And then here's what we'll do too. We'll just run this one in parallel. So what I'll ask now is if I wanted to make push this live and host it on a server for other people to play, how would I do that? We'll just go into planning mode because I don't actually want to do this now. But even if you just ask questions like this when you're playing around, it'll give you a pretty good idea on how to do it. We've built this whole open source stack so that it'll actually be very, very easy to deploy. We have stuff that would make it ready for you to go and actually launch this so that other people can play with just a few commands. And your agents will actually be able to figure out how to do this pretty easily because it's already built in Mongo, or I'm sorry, it's already built in Docker and all of this. You can run it on just one server, basically. You can honestly sometimes even get like free VPS servers that are available for a few hours. Or if you've ever run something like a Minecraft server, they could be like $5 a month. And honestly, sometimes what you can even do is you can even here we go. We'll get a domain. Sometimes you can even do it so you can have like a local version using something like Tunnel or Tailscale available to other people. Ooh, baby. You all have permission with our license to be able to use the art and the branding and the CDN assets. We do in the license, I think, have the we reserve the right to be able to say that, hey, you can't like use pixel branding with some stuff, or you can't use the code base if you're doing something like really crazy. Like you know, we have to protect the brand slightly, but like the default license is you can do whatever you want with the code base. What we don't want you to do is we don't want you to fork and then like completely cut the pixel ecosystem out of everything. So what we'll probably do if we ever were to do enforcement is if you like launched your own coin or something like that, we'd want you to have something working with the pixel ecosystem, right? Like that's the fair way to do it. Do not do what Luke is doing right now unless you're using Claude Code on an expensive plan. Those agents can now communicate with each other without thrashing everything, or currently cannot. Yeah, that is a paid plan goes a long way with Claude Code. Even the $20 a month one will unlock a lot. Yeah, only use 2 agents at once if you're willing to like just throw away tokens. Basically, he's right. All right, let's see. It looks like they're getting close to getting done. They're not quite done on that side. Okay, but here, just so that you guys, if you guys want to know, like how you would go and do all of this. Basically, all we need, it looks like, is just a new domain. And I'm curious on where it's going to run this. It gave us a plan on how to like actually deploy this. I'm telling you guys, if you guys like actually give this a try, you'll be able to figure it out. It'll tell you everything that you need to do. Do I need to purchase a server or something for this? What do I need to do on my side? Oh, it looks like we have zombies now. The game is back. Oh, I still don't have the axe. I think Chuck in his version, he had an axe. And Mnemonic was saying, I saw Mnemonic talking some crap. Mnemonic said, how much are we going to bet that those NPCs are following client side only? No, they're not following client side only. That's the cool thing about the open source and why I had 2 versions of Pixels open. You can see that the zombies are working on the server. So this is why you open up 2 things at once, because if it was client side only, I would only see the zombies moving for 1 person at a time. Oh, that's funny. It's mid editing code, so we can't see it. But I would see the zombies are only moving for 1 person at a time. We verified that this is working on a server for multiple players. The zombies are following different players concurrently. So this would be actually something you could ship live and would work. And like you could actually ship this as like a mini game in the Pixels ecosystem. You could share it on the Pixels Community Hub. And if you shared it on the showcase, other players inside the Pixels ecosystem could see it here and start playing with you guys. looks like it's nearly done with okay, so as it's finishing up, let's just see if there's any other questions for today on this AMA. I'm sure there are a bunch. We didn't get through a lot, but I really wanted to go through a live demo on how the open source setup works, how you might be able to use Claude Code to contribute, and like actually build something you can share with other people. Do you think there's a possibility of new Neon Zone mini games? So yeah, this is the exact kind of stuff where if one, the open source community starts building stuff in either Reforge or in like their own branches, like this is the kind of stuff we're very open to putting into the game, right? And as you can see, like I was able to get a mini game up in just like an hour, right? Obviously, if I wanted to like really be proud of it, I'd probably need to spend a few more hours polishing it. But the base of something up using Claude Code that I can share with the rest of the world this quick is pretty cool, right? The other option, again, if you don't want to do all this Claude Code stuff, or if you still want to do Claude Code, is you can build in a very similar way in Reforge without having to do anything with the servers that's able to be changed very quickly and easily. I wanted to show that this week, and maybe I can even give like a little tutorial or demo on X or Twitter later this week on how you might even be able to use Claude Code in Reforge without doing any code or server stuff, because I'm pretty sure we can get a setup going where Claude Code would work in Reforge in the browser and make it so you can have something instantly shareable with people. You wouldn't be able to do all the stuff you can do on the open source version. Like, for example, when I was working with Claude Code here, we did a lot of changes on the server, right? And you can't make changes on the server in Reforge. You can only make changes in the basic stuff, right? Okay, we're going to tell Claude that we have issues. There are some errors right now when I log in. I wonder if this is actually the CDN issue though. Maybe we have the issue again with the CDN. That's not anything to do with local source. All right, let's see. And we'll just keep going through a few more questions and then we'll wrap things up pretty soon. Can we expect community updates that are being accepted to be shipped faster? Yeah, so the cool thing about this whole community portal is, again, the community is building with us with these particular things. We have all the stuff the community votes. So if I was super proud of these changes, what I could actually do is I could actually take these changes and then also add them here in this voting, right? So if I was like, I think zombies need to be in pixels, and everybody agreed, we could actually vote for it in this page. And then our team will review the code. That's the one thing that we have to do. Like I showed you guys earlier, right? Like this is McZero's vote right here for, I think this is backpack presets, this one, or this is bookmark searching. McZero already submitted code on what we would need to do to have bookmark searches, right? So the team right now is going to be taking a look at that because it's at the top of the voting list. And we're going to see if this is something that makes sense to add or if we need any changes in the code. The team is able to add comments saying, hey, this looks really good, but we need you to fix this part of the code. That way, all of you guys can see what's going on also. We actually have the ability to do like official dev reviews also. So for example, right here in Craftable Recipes, we'll actually show you guys, what's good and what's not. Like I can show you guys, hey, we we need changes here in the code, or this is good, everything here is good, and we can show you guys everything very transparently, right? All right. Rate limited on CloudFront. That's funny. Fast to remove and make all from scratch a zombie Vera. So here's what I would do actually. Map editing in Pixels is so easy and so fun. It's actually one of the coolest features. You can do it in the open source, or you can do it in Realms. So the Realms part is cool because if you make a new map in Realms and you think it's awesome and it should be in the game, we could basically instantly add that to the game if it's good, right? It takes the dev team seconds to move something from your realm into the main game. So again, my encouragement for you guys who want to start to like mess around with stuff is go to reforge.pixels.xyz. We're going to work and make sure that the tutorial stuff is fixed because, again, it's still a little clunky. But go to Reforge, give yourself God or mod mode. Looks like we're still having like a few CDN issues. But if you give yourself God mode, you can start editing maps like I showed you guys earlier. Still some CDN issues. We'll work through fixing all of those today. Even my Claude code is having like a CDN issue right now, but I think that covers like most of the stuff I wanted to show you guys. Do you guys have any questions or comments on anything else? I think what I want to do also is I'll probably sit down and like even cut together like a more concise version of like how to build in open source. Today, like if you guys joined the start of the AMA, you could tell there were some issues with the CDN. Again, a very technical thing. Basically, like this infrastructure that we're working with just wasn't really working properly today. We had to fix it. We fixed a lot of it. That's why you guys were able to log into the game, but you were having login issues earlier. It's still kind of going through and giving us some issues right now. But we got a lot of stuff working today. And let's see. Yeah, I'm still going through those same exact CDN issues right now. So I don't think I'll be able to fully finish that particular feature until we're done, or we fix those all. The team I can see in Slack already is working on it now. So appreciate all of you guys. My per category land access permissions request was claimed. How long will it take to review and see in the game? So again, the team only has like so much capacity to do stuff each month. A lot of these changes are small. So basically at the end of every month, which is coming up pretty soon, we're going to go through the changes. We'll pick like 3 or 4 to actually introduce into the game because we do have to make sure that we like look through all the code and make sure it's good, right? Because this is open source, we do need to hold like certain code quality so that there's not like slop for everybody, because anything that we release goes back into the open source and everybody builds on top of it, right? So we'll take a look at all the stuff that has been done at the end of the month. We'll pick a couple of things to actually introduce into the main game. A lot of these bounties that we set, they're set, right? So we said, hey, we're going to have these in if you have like good enough code quality, but expect stuff to start going out in the next couple of weeks, which is awesome, right? And yeah, my Claude is still working through the CDN issue. So I'll share a video of what this zombie thing looks like in Discord or Twitter later. But I hope this was helpful to see you guys, to see like what building an open source looks like and see that it's really not so intimidating. Like even if you're not technical, I never opened any of the code when I was messing around with this open source, right? I never asked it any technical questions. I was just like, hey, build zombies, or hey, do it this way. And I started seeing it in the game, right? I was even able to work with Claude Code to set up the initial repo, even though there were issues, right? Even though there were some issues with it, Claude fixed it basically instantly. So this is why we thought open source was the interesting direction for Pixels, because it's actually possible for more and more people to contribute than it was before. So thanks everybody again for this AMA. I hope this was cool to see this. And yeah, we'll keep going through. And yeah, somebody just asked if there's like a lot of stuff getting added. It took a little bit of time, but we're starting to see more and more people contribute now, which is really exciting. So, right now there's not an issue of like, oh, can the team review everything? But pretty soon I think there will be, which is an amazing problem to have. And we'll start to work through like better systems and how we can actually get more and more stuff in as we start to get more and more people contributing. But that's everything for today. We stayed extra late, guys. I was having fun. So appreciate everyone on this stream today. And yeah, we got to go. All right. See you guys.